Alrighty, so now we are going to talk about kind of a hard discussion that might be a little bit frustrating for some of you. Is Turo really for you, right? It might not be at this moment because either you don't have enough time, you don't have enough money, or you don't have enough, credit or whatever. So that's really the next thing we need to work on. Is Turo for you? So let's just talk about a couple scenarios of things that could happen, and you need to decide, okay, can I handle this? And these are going to be experiences that have happened to me directly, or people that I've helped, or people that I know. Okay, so let's talk about one in particular. Subaru Crosstrek. I had it, Texas. This lady backed up. Now you'd think, okay, this car is nice, it's brand new, has a rear view camera, not gonna run into any issues. Well, you're wrong. She backed it up into a pole and damaged it. Now I had it on the 90% plan because economically it makes sense. We'll go over that later, especially when you have more cars. So she backed it up into a pole, $3,500 worth of damage. Got them down to 15. Turo's super hard to work with. The car was delisted for a month because it took me time to get it to the mechanic, get them to check it out, get them to order the part, get them to do everything like that. And at first I was trying to get Turo to, handle some of it. Anyways, huge mess, huge problem the whole time, and it sucked, right? And so I'm out $1,500 because I had to pay for that. Hopefully I can get the guest to pay for some of it. The deductible's over that, so that's not something I get. And then, so hopefully I can get the guest to pay for some, but I'm out money, and I'm out an entire month, and now I'm out the car payment and the insurance and all of that, and that car was just a big L this month. Could you afford a $600 loss? No, a $2,100 would be coming out of your pocket that month. Just think about that from that car. Now, that's not going to happen to everyone, but could you afford that? Could that be a situation you can be in? What if, okay, here's another scenario. Someone takes your car out of state and he was driving drunk, okay, and he got the car impounded, okay? So what that means is you can't pick up that, or he can't pick up that car. He was let out and they wouldn't let him pick up the car because he wasn't the registered owner. If a car is put in a tow yard, only the registered owner can pick it up. So if you're at a location, right, or let's say a guest leaves it in a parking spot in California and it gets towed, only you can pick it up. Only the registered owner can pick it up. So what that means is you're going to have to fly to California. You're going to spend all that money doing that. Turo should reimburse you, and you're going to have to drive back. You could be talking about days, weeks, not weeks, but multiple days off of work, taking that huge financial hit. Could you afford that, right? Do you have the time? Someone scrapes up your car pretty bad. How are you going to feel when you have your nice Dodge Charger, right? This was a scenario of a guy that I was helping with Turo. He was in a tough spot. He had a couple cars that he couldn't afford. And he was like, Michael, can you really just help me out? Like, I don't have much money. I just need help. So I was like, sure, dude. I was like, dude, they're going to get damaged. I know these are your babies. Stuff's going to happen. He's like, oh, dude, I don't care. So pretty much, I throw these on. One of the first guests smokes in his Charger, right? Different guest scrapes up the grill a little bit. He was furious. He had me take it off, and I was helping him out, so I had it on my personal account. And I was like, dude, there's only one more trip that's booked on here. Let me just give it to that guest. No, I won't do it. Got me a bad review. And then I'm like, man, this sucks. That really, really sucked. Because I got a bad review from trying to help somebody out, right? Then so he was like, he had me delist it, because then later he wanted to list it on his own. So he had me delist it, so he never got the payout for the smoking. He never got the payout for the damage because he wouldn't wait for that. So a very emotional person, because he was very emotionally attached to these cars, right? Nothing wrong with him. Obviously, I wasn't happy the way it went down. But when you're doing this and thinking about doing this, you have to be thinking, how emotionally invested am I into these cars? If you're very emotionally invested in these cars, do not put them on Turo. Someone's going to smoke in it. Someone's going to hotbox in it. People are not going to treat it with the same respect that you treat it, right? So at the end of the day, don't list it if you're emotionally attached to these cars, okay? Another scenario. So this is, and we'll talk about this later, why it's insanely important to have trackers in your car. I know someone who got a car, rented it out the next day, right? Awesome move. But they didn't have any trackers on hand, and they were like, oh, this person has a good review, whatever. I'm just going to rent it out. Cool. No big deal. Person sold the car. It's been 2 months. Cops haven't found it. And now they're waiting on a check from Turo. So meanwhile, they're having to make these car payments for this car that's gone, paying the insurance for this car that's gone for 2 months. Then they're having to wait for the check to come in to pay for this car. all of this, and then they have the deductible from Turo on top of that. So let's say it's a $10,000 car. That's why it's extremely important to get good deals on cars, because if someone totals it or steals it, you're not gonna be out money. You have to be getting really good deals on cars, and that's why we covered that quite a bit later on. Think about all of that stuff that I just mentioned. Guests chewing you out. I had one of my managers, a guest showed up because they thought the car was a little bit dirty and chewed him out, and his wife had to come out and stick up for him and tell the lady to get lost. You're going to deal with that. It'll be 2 a.m. Someone didn't pick up the car when they were supposed to, and they're knocking on your door at 2 a.m. Now, there's a lot of precautions that we're going to talk about to minimize a lot of this, but a lot of this stuff can still happen, right? And you have to be prepared. This is a business. It's not a fun hobby. It's not zero work. And now the last thing that I like to talk to people about is calculating what your time is worth. Now, some people on here, your time is probably worth $1,000 an hour. Some people on here, your time is maybe worth $20 an hour, okay? So if you have a car that you're making $600 a month from, okay, and it's going to take 10 hours of your time taking care of this car, that's a lot of time. It really shouldn't take that much. But let's say it does. That's saying your time is worth $60 an hour. Calculate what your time is worth and see if this is really worth it for you. If it's not, then what I would advise doing is you probably have a crap ton of money, jumping straight to like 15 cars, hiring a manager, or having Fleet and Go do it, but having other people manage it, having other people do it, because your time is worth too much money, right? Your time is not worth talking to someone on the phone about how they didn't like your bumper sticker on the car and how they wanted you to remove it. True story. They didn't like a Settlers of Catan bumper sticker on the car, and they gave a bad review because of it. Ridiculous stuff. Just insanely stuff that you don't want to deal with, okay? So the point is, before you jump in, before you make a big investment of your time, your money, stuff like that, you need to decide if this is worth it for you. If it's not, cool, you only wasted a little bit of money on this course. It's still a lot of good information for you to learn. So not really even wasted money. And in fact, I probably saved you an insane amount of money by you not getting cars and by you not doing stuff. Decide if you want to do that. That is all of this work. That is the most important part right now.